Faithful ones, stay with me. This is not random. You did not stumble here by accident, and this is not merely a comforting coincidence after a hard day. I placed this moment in your path on purpose, with precision, with the timing of one who has never lost sight of your address, your calendar, your quiet sighs. I am stepping into your timeline right now to confront what has been confronting you. My child, hear me. Your delay is being addressed in this very moment. I know the weight that waiting has put on you. I know the strange fatigue of carrying hope and disappointment in the same arms, of going to sleep with questions that seem to multiply in the dark, of waking to responsibilities that do not pause just because your answers have taken longer than you planned. I have watched you do the late-night calculations, numbers with actual values in them, adding and subtracting margins in your head, while the room is quiet and your chest tightens with a pressure you don't mention to anyone. I have been with you when the hallway light is off, and the house feels rested, and you lie awake replaying conversations, second-guessing decisions, wondering if nothing is moving at all. I will not pretend otherwise. I will not skip past the difficulty. It has cost you something: sleep, confidence, the ease you used to feel when you said, "It will work out." Small disappointment layered on small disappointment until even ordinary days felt heavier than they should. You prayed and felt like your words were circling back without landing. You kept showing up at work, for your family, for friendships that needed more from you than you had. But inside, you were asking, is anything shifting? Did I miss you? Is this delay my fault? Listen to me. That fear is a lie. This is not punishment. This is not rejection. This is not the end of the story. Your delay has been a battleground, and I am moving to shift the outcome in your favor. The cycle that has circled you, resistance, second-guessing, a brief push forward and then another stall, has reached its pressure point. It cannot sustain itself against my word over you. I am not merely observing your waiting. I am intervening. This is not just another prayer. This is an interruption of what has been resisting you, not a gentle suggestion, not a vague encouragement, not a maybe soon. This is a line drawn. This is me arriving in the room of your life, steady and near, placing my hand on what has been stuck and saying, enough. Arriving, do you hear me? Arriving with the intentionality and the unstoppable momentum of a love that does not forget, a love that delivers, a love that knows how to open what seemed sealed. It is in motion. It is real. I know how it has felt like you had to keep being strong while nothing else moved, smiling while your insides trembled, carrying others while wondering who would carry you. I saw you continue to sow kindness when you were tired. I watched you continue to tithe your energy to responsibilities that didn't ask how you were doing. I honor that faithfulness. I count those choices. I receive those unseen offerings. And now I am here to confront the delay, to address it like a physician addresses an infection, not by scolding the body for being sick, but by applying what heals, what breaks the pattern, what restores normal flow. You have not been forgotten in a line that never moves. You are not sitting at the back of a room where your name will never be called. I am calling your name. I am calling this moment. Breathe with me. Let your shoulders drop. Release the script that says nothing shifts for you, that answers belong to other people, that you are always almost there and somehow never arriving. That narrative is not from me. The truth is that much is moving in places you cannot yet see. The ground under the resistance is loosening. The mechanism that kept jamming your progress is failing. Even now, I am arranging, preparing, releasing, providing, holding, healing, restoring, and celebrating what you thought was out of reach. You have wondered if you misheard me, if you took a wrong turn somewhere, if a closed door was my final verdict. My child, I am not a God of closed windows that never open again. I am a Father who knows how to time entrances so that what opens stays open, so that what begins can be sustained. I am here to settle you and then to set you in motion. Stay with me to the end of this message. Do not click away. I will give you clarity. I will lay peace over your mind like a warm blanket after a cold evening. I will confirm what I have been whispering for longer than you realized. By the final word, you will know where to place your foot next. You will feel the internal yes rise again, the one you thought had been permanently quieted by too many delays. Right now, allow me to still the storm of questions long enough for you to hear the certainty beneath them. You have not missed me. I have not left you. I have been walking alongside you in every errand, every meeting, every ordinary evening when it felt like nothing holy could possibly be happening. But holy things do not always announce themselves with trumpets. Sometimes they arrive quietly and then prove louder than the noise that came before. That is what is happening here. This is a divine interruption, gentle with your heart, firm with your enemies. I am addressing the pattern at its root. I am speaking to the cycle and starving it of fear. I am speaking to your spirit and feeding it with faith. All I ask right now is your attention and your agreement. Say yes to my nearness. Say yes to being comforted. Say yes to the possibility that the timing is not late but precise. Stay until the end. Clarity, peace, and confirmation will settle in you. I will tell you who you truly are again. I will show you how I have kept watch, and I will turn your inner face toward the door that is already forming. Be still with me. The delay is being confronted, not ignored. You are not behind. You are right on time for what I am doing now. Come here, my child. Closer. I am not speaking to the version of you that has learned to live with lowered eyes and practiced caution until it felt like wisdom. Not the version of you shaped by disappointment, not the version that expects no, not the version that braces for silence as if silence is safer than hope, not the version that edits dreams until they are too small to hurt you if they don't arrive. I want to speak to the real you, the one I formed before the waiting tried to rearrange your posture, before the slow erosion of time tried to rename you. I see the hidden symptoms that have been living in your days, the guarded hope that refuses to climb past the halfway point because the fall from there seems too steep, the shortened prayers, "God, you know," whispered quickly, closing the journal early because the longer you write, the more you feel the ache of not yet, the cynicism you have worn like armor, using humor to deflect, using "it's fine" to end conversations that are anything but fine, the private comparisons that tighten your chest when other people's timelines seem to sprint while yours strolls, engagements announced, job titles updated, houses purchased, babies born, doors opened, and you smile sincerely for them, while under the smile, a quiet voice asks, "Did I get left behind?" I have watched that voice try to convince you that shrinking your expectation is maturity. It is not. It is self-protection born of exhaustion. I do not condemn you for it. I simply will not leave you there. Delay has been whispering names it never had the right to utter. Unworthy, forgotten, late, difficult to bless. The one for whom good things almost happen. The perennial second choice. These are not your names. They are not even close to your true address. I correct the record now with covenant language that does not change with the wind. Chosen, seen, held, provided for, sent right on time. Hear me. Adoption in my family is irrevocable. Your belonging is not on probation. Your place at my table is not a temporary pass that can be revoked when your feelings swing or your calendar stalls. I have called you mine, and I am not looking for a reason to change my mind. My child, your life is not an accident. Your story is not defined by postponement. The waiting tried to blur the lines to convince you that delay equals identity. It does not. Who you are is defined by my design, not by the timetable of any single chapter. I formed you with intention, with gifts that still fit you, with a voice that still matters, with a future that still has rooms you have not yet walked into. The worn-down version you sometimes see in the mirror is not the truest portrait. Regardless of what you see on your most difficult days, the tired eyes, the clenched jaw, the practiced politeness that hides your ache, I see the one I made before a clock began to argue with your confidence. I am speaking to the part of you that can still trust me, because that part is alive. It is not a flicker about to disappear. It is a steady ember I have guarded under the ashes of long nights and longer questions. You have felt it, even recently, in moments that surprised you, a sudden tenderness in worship, an unexpected swell of courage during an ordinary conversation, a quiet certainty that returned for a minute in your car at a red light. That part of you has not died. I am calling it forward. I am asking the real you, the bold you, the tender you, the you that laughs without checking the room for permission, to take the front seat again. Let me loosen the braces you have built against disappointment. They seemed necessary, but they have been holding your chest too tight to breathe deeply. You do not need to live on alert against me. You do not have to minimize possibility to avoid pain. Lift your inner face. Let your prayers lengthen again by a sentence, and then another. Say what you actually want to me without apologizing for desiring good things. Release the belief that makes you translate every longing into a smaller, more reasonable request. Reasonable is not the language of love. Love is, and I am love. You have been comparing your timeline as if there is a single ladder everyone is climbing in perfect sequence. I do not work with closing windows and shrinking chances. I work with appointed times and made-for-you paths. When you see others receive, hear this instead of the old narrative. If God is moving in my neighborhood, He is near my address. Their open doors are not evidence of your abandonment. They are evidence that the giver is active. I am not late with you. I am precise. Delay has tried to measure you by progress you can display, and when that progress paused, it tried to stamp you with the word behind. But the most important work has been happening in you. What waiting built inside has weight. Wisdom that will not blow away with flattery, compassion that does not withdraw from pain, endurance that does not collapse when there is no applause. These are not consolation prizes. They are foundations. The real you, before the waiting, carried raw courage and bright hope. The you that rises now carries courage that is tempered, hope that is resilient, love that is steady. This is who I am speaking to, coaching, blessing. Come out from under the tight sentences you speak over yourself. It's okay if it never happens. I don't need much. I'll just make do. My child, contentment is holy, resignation is not. I am not training you to settle for less than what fits your calling. I am training you to carry what fits without fear. Let cynicism drop its claim on you. It promised to protect you from disappointment, but it stole your color. I return your color. I return your laughter. I return your ability to anticipate without bracing. Place your hand on your heart and listen. This is not the heartbeat of someone disqualified. This is the heartbeat of one I chose on purpose. The naming rights of your life belong to me, not to delay. I call you builder, not bystander. I call you daughter. I call you son. I call you heir. I call you trusted. Not late, not overlooked, not almost, trusted. I have entrusted you with this moment, and I will not let it crush you. I am strengthening the muscles that receive, faith that opens its hands without trembling, humility that lets me bless without trying to earn it, gratitude that anchors the gift so it does not float away when the next wind blows. So come here, the real you. Step closer with your honest needs and your unedited hopes. The door I am forming is not for the guarded caricature of you. It is for the true you I shaped before the world taught you to make your heart small. Breathe. Loosen your shoulders. Let these words settle in the places that have been clenched the longest. You are mine. You are seen. You are held. You are chosen. You are not the sum of postponed dates and delayed answers. You are the one I love, and I am speaking to your core, so that when the breaking of delay becomes visible, you are ready to receive it as yourself, not as your fear. I am with you, deliberately restoring your name to you. Hear me say it again, not the version that expects no, not the version that braces for silence, not the version shaped by disappointment. I want the real you, and I have you now. My child, hear me say this with the steadiness of a father who has been in the room with you through every hour. I have counted every prayer, none of them dissolved into the air, not the eloquent ones, not the stammered ones, not the ones that were only a single word repeated because you had no strength for sentences. I was there when you whispered into your pillow and when you mouthed the request silently because you did not want the walls to hear how fragile you felt. I was there at the sink, hands in water, eyes unfocused while your heart spoke without a voice. I was there in traffic when your hands gripped the steering wheel a little too tight and a simple please rose like a flare. I registered them all. I received them all. I have not overlooked the cost. Sleep that thinned until it felt like your body forgot how to rest. Appetite that came and went like a guest who never stayed long enough to nourish you. Motivation that leaked out of the day before noon, leaving you to push through with willpower you didn't think you had. Confidence that used to be a well became a small cup, and every conversation felt like a place to accidentally spill it. The heaviness in your chest that made normal breathing feel like work. The mental math done under dim lamps or the glow of a phone, columns, totals, margins, what-if calculations that turned minutes into hours. The single conversation you have replayed far too many times, scanning it for hidden meanings, for where you might have said too much or not enough, like a detective looking for a clue that would reverse time. I saw it. I did not dismiss it as unnecessary drama or weakness. It registered. It cost you something. And I have held every cost in mind as I have held you. You wondered if the prayers that sounded the same each day were just noise to me. They were not. Repetition was not meaningless. It was persistence. 10,000 help me prayers are not a failure of faith. They are faith breathing. Your tears were not evidence you were unstable. They were language, clear, potent language, telling the truth of what mattered to you. When you could not find words and only tears came, I was not impatient with you. I listened to that water as carefully as I listened to any sermon. When silence answered you for a time, that silence was not my absence. You did not speak into a vacuum. You spoke to me, and I heard. Let me tell you something hard with tenderness. I never minimized your pain. I did not roll my eyes at your questions, or tell you to be quiet and be tougher. I watched in detail. The hour you went to bed in hope and woke in ache, I was there. The day you carried your responsibilities like groceries that kept cutting into your hands, I was next to you. I kept record not to make a ledger to measure you against, but to honor your faithfulness, to weigh it with glory. Every amen that felt like it fell flat was gathered. Every time you chose kindness when you wanted to withdraw, I noticed. Every time you forgave an offense and let me handle it instead of rehearsing your defense, I saw the cost and I credited it to love. Every offering, time, attention, energy given when no one applauded, I kept it. I consider it precious. Do not misinterpret the quiet seasons as neglect. A delay in your eyes was not neglect in my hands. While you saw the calendar pages turn, I saw alignment inch into place. While you saw doors that did not open on your schedule, I saw protection engage. Counterfeits that looked like answers, opportunities that would have exhausted you beyond repair, connections that were too weak to carry the weight of your calling. I let some things remain closed because I intend for what I open to remain open and for what you receive to be sustainable. Protection does not feel like celebration, but it is love with its sleeves rolled up. There was alignment happening. Hearts of others needed to be softened. Rooms needed to be prepared so that when you walked in, you were not tolerated but welcomed. Skills in you needed to be honed without the pressure of performance. Habits needed to be reshaped so blessing would not slide through your fingers. Identity needed to be secured so that when affirmation came, it wouldn't run your life, and when criticism came, it wouldn't end your joy. I was adjusting the environment and strengthening your inner architecture at the same time. Preparation has a quiet sound, but it is never idle. I saw the mornings you negotiated with yourself just to get out of bed, the afternoons where your hands did the work while your heart whispered, "Lord, I'm still here," and the evenings where you collapsed into a chair and wondered if showing up one more day even mattered. It did. I counted it. I honored it. Your seed was not wasted. Not one prayer was misfiled. Not one tear evaporated unnoticed. Not one act of integrity slipped under my radar because no one else clapped. I have been keeping a record of faithfulness, not to test you, but to reward you, to testify back to you that you did not imagine your endurance. It is real. It has weight. It is beautiful in my sight. I know you asked me to hurry. I know you tried to bargain if you would just do this one thing, and then felt small for negotiating with the one you love. I did not hold it against you. Those were love words trying to find shape under pressure. Even the bargaining was a way of staying in the conversation instead of shutting down. I honor that you stayed. I am not cold toward the one who refuses to walk away. I stay even closer. Understand me. I was working in the unseen, not pacing the floor undecided about you. I do not do indecision. I do intentionality. I do timing like a surgeon who knows when to cut and when to wait, not because the patient is unimportant, but because wisdom is at work. I have been using every layer of this delay to protect you from needless harm, to position you where favor will not be accidental, and to prepare you so joy can be held without fear of loss. What you could not calculate in your kitchen at midnight, I calculated with the entirety of your future in view. I am not asking you to like the process, only to trust that I did not waste it. So breathe, my child. Let the shame you attach to still waiting lift off of you. Receive my witness over your story. I saw, I counted, I remember, I honor. The prayers you thought were small were seeds. The tears you thought were weakness were water. The days you considered forgettable were bricks laid into a foundation that can carry the next chapter. Nothing you whispered was wasted. Nothing. Now, because I have witnessed you, and because I am honoring what you carried, I will speak plainly about what this delay truly is and what it is not. I will strip the lies from its edges so you can see it clearly. Stay with me. I am turning the light on. My child, let me turn the light all the way on. I am going to define this so clearly that the shame attached to your timeline loses its power. Hear me, your delay is not punishment. Not punishment for what you should have known or should have done or should have become by now. Not punishment for the words you wish you could take back. Not punishment for the seasons you were tired and honest about it. It is not rejection, not a cold shoulder, not a silent verdict from a father who has grown weary of you. It is not the end, not the closing credits of your story, not the final page, not the last chance missed because you blinked. It is not proof that I forgot you. I do not forget. It is not evidence that your window closed and you failed to jump through in time. I do not build destinies with windows that trap the children I love. It is not divine cruelty. I am not entertaining myself with your longing. It is not a signal to quit believing, quit asking, quit showing up, quit preparing. It is not a sign that your desire is unholy or that your future was overpromised and under-delivered. It is not me moving the goalposts so you never score. That fear is a lie. What, then, has it often been? Protection, love working on a timeline that saves you from premature doors, doors that looked polished from the hallway but were splintered on the inside, rooms that would have clapped at your gifting while draining your soul, teams that would have used your compassion as fuel without ever refueling you. I kept some things shut not to tease you, but to keep you breathing. I do not open what would swallow you whole. It has been alignment, not stalled potential, but intentional coordination, people, places, and timing learning to agree with what I have spoken over you. Some hearts needed softening so they could receive you without suspicion. Some skills in you needed quiet maturation so when the door swung wide, you didn't stand there second-guessing whether you belonged. I was adjusting the dials, calibrating temperaments, conversations, and calendars, so when you step forward it fits. Not almost fits. Fits. It has been strengthening of discernment. You prayed for answers. I was teaching you how to tell a counterfeit from a covenant. You learned to sense the difference between flattery and favor, between pressure and peace. You learned to feel me in the no as clearly as you felt me in the yes, and that lesson will keep you safe when options multiply. I have been refining your ear so you won't be led by urgency, dressed up as opportunity. It has been the removal of counterfeit paths, roads that promised speed but led to shallows. I pulled you back from shortcuts that would have made you visible before you were rooted, from commitments that would have dressed you in someone else's calling, from alliances that would have branded you with their instability. The pruning you felt was not rejection, it was protection with wisdom in its hands. Now hear me on the pattern you have noticed, the recurring cycles that made you wonder if you were cursed or simply incapable. The same kind of resistance kept returning because the enemy reuses what once worked against you. Fatigue that lowers your guard, confusion that fogs what used to be clear, procrastination that makes tomorrow feel responsible and today impossible, fear that turns simple steps into mountains. He has no need to be creative when repetition will do. He banks on your weariness. He tries to bait you with familiar discouragement, so you return to familiar shrinking. Do not be surprised that the battle has been both spiritual and practical at the same time. Resistance can arrive as a heaviness you cannot name and as an email that never reached the inbox it needed. It can show up as a night of anxious thoughts and as a calendar conflict that pulls your attention from what matters. The opposition is layered. So is my answer. I address the unseen and the seen. I break lies you cannot wrestle down on your own, and I reorder the logistics that have tangled your days. I silence the accuser, and I send the right names into your phone at the right hour. I lift the cloud off your mind, and I give you the practical insight to restructure your time, adjust your budget, refine your boundaries, ask for help. Do not split your life into holy and ordinary, as if I only move in one realm. I am Lord over both. Your delay has been a battleground, not a tomb, a contested space, not a condemned one. The enemy tried to convince you that the pause proved my absence. It did not. The pause proved your perseverance, and I have been in the fight with you. You were not circling for no reason. You were resisting collapse under pressure that would have folded a lesser version of you. I honor the battle you did not choose and the courage you kept choosing inside it. Let me speak as plainly as I can. I am shifting the outcome. Where your strength could not push a door open without breaking you, my word will release it without costing you your peace. Where your strategies could not force agreements to hold, my favor will settle the matter. Where your best efforts kept producing almost, my timing will produce finally. This is where the pattern breaks, because what you could not force, I will release. So stop calling it a verdict and start naming it what it has been. Protection, alignment, training, pruning, staging. Stop agreeing with the lie that the delay defines you. It does not. It has formed capacity in you, not a cage around you. You are not late. You are ready. I want you to see the battleground for what it has been, so you can receive the victory for what it is. Not luck, not coincidence, not a fragile window someone might slam shut. My doing in my time, for your good and my glory. And while I move, I am teaching you to move differently. When fatigue tries to sit on your shoulders, come to me early, not after the week has frayed you. When confusion presses in, pause and ask for wisdom rather than pushing through the fog as if speed is salvation. When procrastination whispers, tomorrow, answer, obedience today. When fear shouts worst-case images across your mind, answer it with my voice, that fear is a lie, and then take the next small step anyway. Spiritual warfare often looks ordinary from the outside. A phone call made instead of avoided, a boundary kept instead of negotiated away, an hour of rest honored instead of sacrificed to anxiety. I am in these simple obediences, turning them into gates that the enemy cannot pass. I am not asking you to pretend the delay did not hurt. I am asking you to reframe it so the hurt does not narrate your future. The room you are walking toward is not a consolation prize for survival. It is the room I have been preparing while I prepared you. The pattern of resistance that has made your shoulders tense at the thought of trying again is losing its grip. Its leverage was your agreement with fear. I am closing the mouth of that accuser over your timeline. Listen for the shift. It will sound like clarity where there was noise. It will feel like peace settling over a decision you have revisited a dozen times. It will look like an email arriving, a conversation softening, a resource appearing without you twisting yourself in knots to achieve it. It will look practical, and it will be holy, arriving, not approaching, not still being assembled, not standing by, arriving at the same address where you prayed and wept and waited. This is not a random lift in mood. This is me. Stay with me now. I have defined the battleground and exposed the lie. Next, I will press on the pressure point until what resisted you yields. What opens will not be fragile. What begins will be sustained. And what you could not force by effort, you will receive by grace. My child, I am pressing now. The pressure point has been reached. The place where the pattern repeats and steals your strength. I have my hand there. And as I press, hear the sound of my decree over your life. It breaks, it lifts, it loosens, it moves. Not tomorrow as a vague comfort, now as a present tense shift taking place under my authority. The cycle that made you feel like every inch forward required a mile of recovery. Its leverage is gone. Its grip is failing. You are not imagining this. I am the one applying pressure. I am the one changing the outcome. I am confronting the specific patterns that have made you wonder if you were the problem when you were actually in a war. The delayed responses that seem to vanish into the ether. Emails unanswered, calls unreturned. Messages that got lost, approvals that stalled at the last signature again and again. the repeated setbacks that arrived like clockwork just when hope dared to stand up. Momentum built, then the interruption. Clarity found, then confusion. A path cleared, then inexplicable debris in the middle of the road. The paperwork loops that kept sending you back for one more form, one more verification, one more resubmission, as if bureaucracy itself had learned your name and found entertainment in your waiting. The emotional hesitation that made small steps feel like cliffs, the pause, the second guessing, the narrative that told you to scale down your ask to protect your heart from another no. The relationship confusion that twisted simple conversations into knots. Mixed signals, doors half open and half closed, warmth followed by distance, apologies followed by the same cycle. The financial stagnation that turned budgets into tightropes, numbers with actual values in them that did not stretch, invoices delayed, clients indecisive, opportunities near enough to see but not solid enough to stand on. I am laying my hand on each of these, not in general but in specificity. I see where the thread keeps catching. I am freeing it. Listen to me and let this cadence settle into you the way a hammer settles a nail. Every counterfeit delay breaks now. Every looping detour breaks now. Every paper maze, every misrouted message, every "we'll get back to you," every missing signature that made you feel small breaks now. Every almost, every pulled back promise, every stolen week, every fear-based pause breaks now. Every heaviness that sits on your chest at the threshold of action breaks now. Every accusation that says, "You always take too long," or "You always mess it up," or "You always get left," breaks now. That fear is a lie. The mouth of the accuser is closing over your timeline. I am not negotiating with this thing. I am ending its authority. Do not misinterpret the lift that is beginning as luck. This is me. Watch the signs of yield while I move what you cannot move. Approvals that were stuck will surface. Responses that were delayed will arrive. Conversations that looped will land. Confusion in a relationship will clear, not through manipulation but through light. You will know what to say and what to stop saying, what to repair and what to release. Paperwork will be found, processed, accepted. A gatekeeper who could not see you will suddenly see you. The right person will reply at the right hour without you contorting into someone else to earn it. In your finances, watch for small margins to appear first. An invoice paid early, a discount offered you did not request, an unexpected refund, a new client who trusts you quickly, a steadying of outflow so inflow can breathe. In your body and mind, notice fatigue lift in specific windows, an unremarkable morning that feels light, a night where you sleep all the way through, a decision that no longer rustles your nerves like a storm, arriving, not approaching, not still being assembled, arriving at the same address where you almost gave up on expecting mail. And because I do not want this to remain at the level of beautiful abstraction, I will teach you how to agree with me while I press. Agreement is not the same as increased effort. It is alignment of your inner narrative with what I am declaring. It is the sound your spirit makes when it stops arguing with hopeless interpretations. Let me coach you in 4 simple moves. First, speak aloud your agreement with what I am doing. Out of your mouth, cancel the partnership with the old story. Say it in your own words if you prefer, but say it. In Jesus' name, the delay is breaking. The cycle is losing its grip. I agree with God's timing and God's opening. Do not wait to feel brave before you say it. Say it to help your heart become brave. Words are steering wheels. Let them turn you toward me. Second, stop partnering with hopeless interpretations. When the old narrative rushes in, here we go again. This is my life. Nothing ever works for me. Name it, refuse it, replace it. Tell the truth instead. This is a battleground, and God is shifting the outcome. I am not cursed, I am covered. Replace catastrophic storytelling with covenant language. I have never asked you to deny what is hard. I am asking you to deny the lie that says the hard thing will always win. That fear is a lie. Third, stop calling the hallway your home. The hallway is for passing through, not for unpacking boxes and hanging pictures of your disappointment on the wall. Do not decorate your waiting with final-sounding pronouncements. Keep your shoes by the door. Keep your bag ready. Keep your yes fresh. Act like someone who expects movement. Finish what is in your hand. Send the email. Schedule the appointment. Submit the application. Make the call. Research the next step. Dust the dream you shelved and look at it in the light again. When a nudge comes, take it. When a small opening appears, step into it without rehearsing 10 ways it could fail. You are not trespassing on hope. You are walking the route I am clearing. Fourth, stay close to me while I move what you cannot move. I am not asking you for perfect faith. I am asking you for proximity. Bring your shaking hands. Bring your tremor voice. Sit with me in the early minutes before the noise begins. Whisper the simple sentence when you cannot craft a paragraph. Father, I'm here. Let peace find you where you actually are, not where you think a stronger person would be. Keep small worship in your mouth, one line sung, one thank you given, one breath surrendered, so your heart stays turned toward me while I work in the rooms you cannot enter yet. Nearness is not a footnote. It is the environment where my answers become sustainable. As you agree with me, you will feel the give, like a stuck jar finally yielding to the steady turn. You may hear it in the tone of someone who once dismissed you, but now respects your yes. You may see it in the calendar block that opens at the perfect time. You may sense it as courage that arrives before you have proof that it will go perfectly. This is not the adrenaline of a moment that will crash. This is the quiet strength of an old chain failing under new pressure. It breaks, it lifts, it loosens, it moves. I know the place in you that fears disappointment is also the place that wants to run the moment anything good begins. Stay. Do not sabotage the shift by predicting a relapse. Let me hold the possibility while you practice steadiness. I am not fragile. What I open is not fragile. The peace that settles will not shatter under small bumps. When you feel the urge to sprint ahead or to hide, choose the middle road of faithful steps. Today's obedience, today's clarity, today's kindness toward yourself. Today's boundary that protects what I am building in you. Understand this. The enemy used rhythm against you. Small delays timed to exhaust large hope. I am establishing a stronger rhythm in you. Small obediences timed to welcome large grace. Where fatigue once decided for you, nearness to me will now decide. Where confusion once defined your pace, my wisdom will now set it. Where procrastination once dressed as prudence, courage will now move with calm hands. You will not run out of my patience while you learn this tempo. I am fathering you into it. Let me say it one more time so your heart can memorize the sound. Every counterfeit delay, broken. Every looping detour, ended. Every stolen week, redeemed. Every fear-based pause, dismissed. Every accusation, silenced. Every door that is mine to open, opening. And for the doors that are not mine, I am removing their magnet from your heart. So you stop standing where I have not called you to stand. This is the turning point, my child. What has been stalling you is losing its grip. Breathe as if you believe it. Pray as if you expect it. Move as if it is already in motion, because it is. Arriving at your mind as clarity. Arriving at your body as strength. Arriving at your inbox as answer. Arriving at your table as provision. Arriving in your relationships as peace. Stay close. Keep your yes ready. Let your words agree with mine. I am pressing, and I will not lift my hand until the resistance yields and you walk forward without the weight you've been carrying for too long. We are moving now. My child, feel the hinge turning. We have pressed on the resistance and it is yielding. Now hear me. I am not only breaking what stalled you, I am opening what carries you forward. A door is not merely an offer you have to chase. Before it vanishes, it is access, movement, permission, and provision wrapped together by my hand. It is the moment when almost becomes enter, when what you peered at from the hallway becomes a room that welcomes you, equips you, and sends you further still. Not one door teased and then withdrawn. Every door that is necessary for this chapter, opening, not a single opportunity, but a pathway forming under your feet, with the intentionality and unstoppable momentum of my love. Listen to the sound of it in your spirit. Arriving, not approaching, arriving, never lost track of your address. Arriving at your work life as a role that aligns with who I made you to be, not just with what will pay a bill. Arriving at your calling as clarity that removes the apology from your voice. Arriving in your finances as margin, not just survival. Numbers with actual values easing into space that breathes, not tightropes that tremble. Arriving in your relationships as softening hearts, clean boundaries and honest words that heal rather than reopen the wound. Arriving in your housing as stability, keys in your hand, approvals that stick, repairs completed, a safe environment where rest is not a luxury but a rhythm. Arriving in your health story as real answers, accurate diagnoses, timely appointments, a treatment plan that makes sense and works with your life, strength returning in waves that do not drown you with side effects. Arriving in your mind as peace, a settledness that holds even when headlines or memories try to stir panic. Arriving in your purpose as the quiet, confident yes you thought you had lost somewhere along the way. Do not picture one dramatic door that demands all your certainty at once, while threatening to snap shut if you exhale. That fear is a lie. I do not gamble with your life. I am setting lights along a runway, one after another, so you know where to place your feet, today, then tomorrow, then the day after. I am laying stepping stones across waters that once convinced you they were impassable. I am not asking you to leap the whole river in a single bound. I am asking you to step with me as I surface the next stone, then the next. Doors opening become a pathway when you walk it with me. Let me tell you how your eyes will recognize my doors. Not every opening is mine. Opportunity multiplied without order is just noise. My doors come with signatures that match me. First, there is peace, not the absence of all risk or the end of your need for courage, but the presence of my nearness that refuses to be bullied by hurry. You will sense a steadiness that is not fragile, a rightness underneath the butterflies. Second, there is clarity. You will not have every detail mapped, but you will know your next faithful step without wrestling for hours against confusion. Third, there is alignment. The opening will honor the person I formed in you. It will not require you to betray your integrity, abandon your boundaries, or wear a costume to be welcomed. It will fit, not almost fits, not fits if you shrink, but fits. Fourth, there is provision that meets you in motion. As you take the next obedient step, resources, names, and solutions will appear at a pace that says, "Heaven is aware," not a pace that punishes you for needing help. I know courage is not automatic for you at thresholds. Thresholds have hurt before. They have announced beginnings that became another cycle of disappointment. Hear me. I will not bring you to a door and abandon you at the threshold. I will stand with you there. I will remind you who you are so you do not rehearse the worn-down version in your head and call it wisdom. I will put language in your mouth when you do not know what to say. I will nudge your foot forward when your knees shake. I will illuminate the handle you should take hold of and the handle you should leave untouched, even if the untouched handle looks shinier from the hallway. I am your Father. I guide, I guard, I go before and behind. You will not be orphaned at an open door. Let's make this concrete so your heart can hold it. In your work and calling, expect doors that do not flirt with your gifting while starving your soul. Expect conversations that reveal roles designed for your strengths, not positions that celebrate you on Monday and forget you by Friday. Expect a supervisor or collaborator who values your voice and gives you room to grow instead of extracting all you have without returning anything. Expect projects that reawaken joy, ideas that land, timelines that are realistic, and favor that causes your yes to carry weight. Expect collaboration that complements rather than competes, teams that tell the truth early, and assignments that stretch you without tearing you. In your finances, watch for a slow turn into margin, a contract that shifts from one-time to retainer, a bill that is reduced without a fight, a promotion that comes with actual support instead of impossible expectations, a habit change that sticks, organized tracking, consistent saving, giving that feels like seed and not loss, because I am teaching you a new flow. Unexpected refunds, fees waived, a fair negotiation you were nervous to attempt that turns out better than you imagined. I am not building a life of constant scramble for you. I am building a life with room. In your relationships, expect movement toward health. A text that felt impossible to send now feels natural. An apology that does not erase boundaries but does remove poison. A difficult talk that ends with understanding instead of escalation. An unhealthy tie that loosens without theatrics, letting you bless from a distance instead of bleed in close proximity. Reunions marked by mutual respect, not by you carrying the whole weight of making it work. And for the relationships I do not call you to restore, expect the emotional permission to release them without guilt, because release is a door, too. In your housing, look for steady favor, approval that lands and stays landed, a door that opens not just to a roof, but to an environment that supports your mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Repairs completed quicker than usual, a neighbor who becomes an unexpected ally, provision for a deposit you thought would take months, guidance to move when it is time and to wait with peace when it is not. In your health, expect timely clarity, the right specialist, the scan that reveals what was hidden, a simple change with outsized impact, nutrition, routine, rest honored instead of postponed, appointments scheduled without the labyrinth you have known, wisdom to pace your recovery so victory is sustainable. In your mind, expect the quiet to be real, not imagined, the storm in your thoughts losing volume, the muscle of focus strengthening, nighttime no longer a battlefield, but a place of peace. This is not fantasy arriving. I will also show you the difference between open doors that rush you and open doors that lead you. The ones that rush you demand frantic proving. They feed on your fear of missing out. They insult your God-given pace. My doors may require prompt action, but they do not require panic. They do not barter away your peace as the price of entry. They honor your limits even as they invite you higher. If an opening requires you to hide who you are, to spend what I did not give, to ignore counsel, to trample rest, or to call manipulation favor, it is not my door. Let it swing without you. You ask, but what if I choose wrong at the threshold? Hear my answer. I am a redeemer, not a trickster. I am not setting traps with multiple right answers hidden beneath identical lids. I will confirm your steps by peace, by my word whispered to your spirit, by alignment with the identity I have been restoring in you, and by echoes in wise counsel. And if you step and discover it is a hallway and not the room, I will meet you in the hallway and lead you to the next door. I am not grading you on perfection. I am walking with you into progress. Do not underestimate the holiness of ordinary scenes as these doors open. A Tuesday email that would have dissolved last month now lands and opens a conversation that honors your time. A kitchen table budget meeting no longer feels like judgment, but like partnership with me. A morning commute where you find yourself singing again without forcing it. A waiting room where anxiety would have paced, but peace now sits with you. Laughter returning to your home in small, frequent bursts. The air feels different because it is. I am here, arriving in ways you can point to, tell stories about, and build altars of remembrance around. So, my child, lift your eyes from the doorknob to the corridor. I am not orchestrating a single dramatic moment that leaves you stranded on the other side, wondering what to do next. I am forming a path, a series of wise yeses and protected steps that turn into a lifestyle of movement. You will look back and see a line of open doors behind you like milestones on a map, each one a testimony that I did not just visit. I built a way. Keep your hands open. Keep your spirit attentive. Keep your courage connected to my nearness, not to external certainty. I am opening access to what you have prayed toward, and I am walking it with you until the promise is not just sight from the threshold, but life inside the room, and from that room into the next, and from that next into the pathway I have dreamed over you since before the waiting began. Arriving, moving, establishing, and you, beloved and ready, stepping through. My child, come closer and let me tell you something true about the season that stretched you thin and made you wonder if your heart would keep its shape. That season did not just bruise you, it built you. It did not only subtract, it constructed the interior architecture you will need for what is arriving. I will not pretend otherwise. The pain was real. The waiting was a weight. The confusion was a fog that did not clear quickly. I saw you count hours at night that refused to translate into rest. I watched you calculate numbers with actual values and find no extra to give your nervous system room to breathe. I heard the questions you did not say out loud because you feared speaking them would seal them as your fate. I was with you in all of it, and while you felt delayed, I was shaping capacity. Listen to me. The long chapter that hurt you has also formed endurance you could not have learned in any easier way. Endurance that does not glamorize suffering but refuses to collapse under it. Discernment that can tell the difference between a glittering counterfeit and a quiet, genuine opening without needing a crowd to vote. Compassion that is not sentimental but surgical, able to sit with someone else's ache without needing to fix it in 5 minutes to soothe your own anxiety. Boundaries that are not coldness but clarity. Your yes has weight now because your no has integrity. Prayer with fewer words and more trust, less performance, more presence. Spiritual stability that does not get purchased by adrenaline but by my peace. Settledness that holds even when you do not yet see the full map. There was invisible growth in you that the mirror could not show and that metrics could not measure. You learned to pray by breathing before you pleaded. You learned to bring me silence without apologizing for not having paragraphs. You learned to survive disappointment without enrolling bitterness as your bodyguard. You learned to let tears come without translating them into hopeless narratives. You learned to celebrate small changes as if they were heralds of large ones, because they were. You learned to stop explaining yourself to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You learned to take a walk instead of taking the bait. You learned to keep your word to yourself on unremarkable mornings, and that is a holy learning. You learned to recover faster, to forgive earlier, to ask for help before you are in a full emergency. You learned to recognize the pressure in your chest as a signal to come near to me, not as a sentence to freeze in place. Invisible, yes, but not imaginary. It is real. I will not mock what was lost. Time was spent. Certain dreams went quiet. A kind of naive joy burned off in a fire you did not start. There were anniversaries that did not feel like celebration, and milestones that passed without the party you had hoped for. I am not shaming you for mourning that. Grief is not an enemy to me when it walks with truth. Bring me the birthdays that feel thin, the memories that ache, the photos you still cannot look at without feeling the pull in your throat. I am not impatient with your humanity. I am your Father. I gather what you think has scattered, and I turn lament into language that heals you, not because I force you to forget, but because I sit with you long enough that the wound closes and becomes wisdom. Hear me speak against the shame that tried to narrate your timeline. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not disqualified because you did not sprint when you were learning to stand again. That story is a lie. What looked like delay was development. What felt like you going in circles was me turning deeper layers of soil so the roots could take. The harvest I am growing in you is heavy. I have been strengthening your arms to carry it without injury. The opportunities that are opening are not meant to crush you with their weight. They are meant to be carried with joy. Without the capacity I formed in you, what is arriving might have fractured you. With the capacity I formed in you, what is arriving will flourish through you. You ask, why did it take so long? I answer in love. Time was never a punishment. It was a kiln, not to burn you for the sake of pain, but to fire the clay, so what I place in you will not leak out. I was tempering your courage so it would not be brittle. I was thickening your discernment so charisma would not seduce you out of calling. I was training your nervous system to recognize peace as your normal instead of chaos as your baseline. I was teaching your tongue the economy of trust. Fewer bargains, more blessings. I was making room in you for kindness to coexist with boundaries, for hope to stand next to realism without either one choking the other, for joy to return not as a balloon that floats away but as a grounded river that keeps running even when weather changes. Consider how you respond now in scenes that used to undo you. A tense email lands and your first instinct is not to assume you have failed, but to breathe, to ask me for words, to answer with clarity. A meeting shifts and your value is not negotiated by the tone in the room. A bill arrives and instead of spiraling into dread, you open it with me and we make a plan. A loved one withdraws and you do not chase them into places that dismantle your dignity. You bless, you invite, you hold your ground. You feel a surge of old panic and instead of letting it decide your schedule, you step outside, feel the sun on your face for 60 seconds, and you remember, I am with you. These are not small things. These are signs that inner infrastructure exists, beams and braces and foundations that hold. I have been installing in you the ability to carry favor without becoming addicted to applause, to steward influence without needing to perform for every room, to embrace increase without spending yourself to bankruptcy, trying to prove you deserve it. I have shown you the gift of limits. I have given you the ability to say, I cannot do that, without swallowing the poison of shame. I have trained you to keep rest as part of your obedience, not as a bribe you pay yourself only when you achieve. I have taught you how to turn down the volume on urgency so that wisdom can be heard. This is the infrastructure of your breakthrough. Let me tell you what that means for the path opening before you. You will not sabotage what I am giving by undercutting your own yes with apology. You will not panic spend peace to buy speed. You will not hand the steering wheel of your future to the loudest opinion in the room. You will not confuse immediate access with total fulfillment. You will move at the pace of me. You will navigate favor without fracturing relationships that matter. You will recognize honor without mistaking flattery for covenant. You will answer opportunity without ghosting your soul. All of this is because you let me form you in the long place. I am healing what the long place took. The soft joy you feared was gone will return, but it will be wiser now. Laughter will not be nervous, it will be rooted. Imagination will not be naive, it will be baptized in truth. Your body will learn again what it feels like to stand without bracing for a blow. Your mind will remember the texture of peace that does not require perfect circumstances to exist. I redeem time, not by rewinding the clock, but by planting multiplication in your steps. What took 10 conversations will take 2. What used to drain you will now refine you. What once felt like a maze will become a hallway with clear light. I am not merely giving you back what you lost. I am giving you strength that would not have existed without this chapter. So lift your chin, faithful one. Do not call yourself behind when I call you ready. Do not downgrade this moment into finally, as if you barely qualified. Upgrade it into appointed, because that is what it is. The same hands that held you in the waiting will hold you in the walking. The same patience that kept you from collapsing will keep you from sprinting past grace. The architecture in you will support the expansion around you. The delay did not destroy you. It built the capacity you will need to sustain the breakthrough. It built it on purpose, in love, with insight into your particular calling, your particular wiring, your particular assignments. Now, as doors open and the pathway forms, I will show you how to stand inside what you receive, so it settles and grows instead of slipping through your fingers. Receiving is not passive, it is posture, it is practice. I will teach you how to make room without fear, how to hold favor without losing humility, how to say yes without saying yes to everything, how to protect peace without building walls around your heart. I will make it simple. I will make it clear. I will walk it with you. And as you learn these ways, you will discover that what hurt you has become holy ground under your feet, the very infrastructure that carries you forward into the life I have been aching to share with you. My child, I told you I would make it simple, and I meant it. Doors are opening and the pathway is forming, but I do not want you meeting my generosity with clenched hands or a guarded heart that cannot hold what I am placing. Receiving is not passive, it is posture. It is a way of standing in your life that says, I believe you, I agree with you, and I will move with you. So come near and listen closely. I am giving you 4 practices. They are not heavy, they are not complicated, they are daily, steady, and they will make room for what I am releasing. First, notice. Train your attention to the movement of my hand. My fingerprints are often subtle before they are spectacular, gentle before they are grand. I do not always thunder. I whisper on purpose so your spirit will wake up and learn my cadence. Notice the small confirmations I am placing along your path. The timely call from someone you had been quietly thinking about but did not text. The unusual peace that sits with you in a moment that used to send your heart running. The repeated theme that appears in a conversation, then in a podcast, then on a page you weren't even trying to read. Echoes that sound like me. Notice when a door you assumed would be locked turns with less resistance than you expected. Notice when the old panic rises and it doesn't take over, when the meeting that used to empty you now ends with clarity, when a problem you feared for weeks is resolved in minutes without drama. These are not coincidences, they are signals. They are my fingerprints, and I want you to say it when you see them. That was you. I see you here. Practice noticing. In the evening, before your mind slips into the long hallway of what-ifs, pause for 2 minutes. Yes, even 2 minutes counts, and name 3 places you sensed me that day. A sentence each is enough. You were in that gentle text. You were in the deep breath that actually changed me. You were in the favor at the office. Let the acknowledgments be small and specific, not grand and vague. As you name them, you will feel your spirit move from suspicion to trust, from scanning for danger to scanning for grace. You are not training superstition. You are training attention, and attention is a door. Second, receive without minimizing. When good arrives, let good be good. I know how the long wait taught you to downplay, so you would not feel foolish later. I saw you say, "It's not a big deal," so it would hurt less if it disappeared. I watched you hold joy at the threshold like it was a visitor that could not be trusted to stay. Hear me. Stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. That fear is a lie. I am not balancing the scales against your joy. I am not giving with one hand and preparing to snatch it back with the other. When the yes comes, say yes back. When peace settles, do not argue it down with old headlines in your head. When help arrives, receive it without apologizing for needing it. When a bill is lowered, do not explain it away as just luck. When favor meets you, do not call it random. Call it what it is: provision, kindness, my nearness translating into outcomes. Let joy stay in the room. Celebrate in ways that honor your real life. A thank you said out loud, a text to a trusted friend who can hold your hope without poking holes in it, a note on a sticky pad that says, "He did this, remember." Keep a simple record. It might be a line in your phone's notes app titled Arrivals. Each line a stone of remembrance. As you practice, you are not becoming careless. You are becoming truthful. You are letting your nervous system learn that good does not always disguise a trap. You are teaching your heart that praise is not naivete, it is agreement. When the moment of good comes, resist the impulse to bargain it down with phrases like, "We'll see, it's probably nothing. I don't want to get my hopes up." Your hopes are allowed up. Lift them like windows that have been painted shut and are finally moving. Breathing rooms receive more. Third, speak alignment daily. I want your mouth to become a doorway for agreement, not an echo chamber for dread. This is not about long speeches or perfect phrases. This is about a simple prayer, 1 to 3 sentences, that you will speak each day to set your compass and refuse despair its microphone. In the morning, before your phone tells you who you are, say it. "Father, I agree with your timing and your path. I refuse despair. I take the next obedient step with you today." If midday you feel the old heaviness gathering, whisper, "You are here. I welcome what you are releasing. Teach me to notice and keep my yes ready." At night, as you close your eyes, bless your own mind with me. Thank you for what arrived today. I rest in what you are finishing while I sleep. Keep it that simple. Do not wait until you feel holy to say it. Do not wait until your emotions catch up. Your words will lead your feelings, and your agreement will choke the weeds of resignation that try to grow in the gaps. If your day allows, anchor it with breath. 3 slow inhales and exhales, each paired with your sentences. This is not performance. This is posture. This is you standing at the door with the key of agreement in your hand and using it. You will be surprised how quickly your interior world shifts when your language stops volunteering to rehearse defeat. Fourth, stay close. Proximity is protection. Closeness to me is not a vague mood. It is a series of small obediences in real time. I am not asking you to solve step 100. I am asking you to take step 1. Protect quiet time, not as a luxury you earn when you are efficient enough, but as the oxygen for the day. 10 unhurried minutes in the morning with me will move more than 10 hurried hours without me. If your schedule is complex, carry quiet in your pockets. A 5-minute walk without your phone. Pausing in your car before you step into the building and saying, "Lead me." A cup of tea that is not multitasked with a crisis in your mind. 1 psalm whispered, not dissected. One worship song sung, not performed. These are not small. They are stays against the storm. Remove what increases confusion and weakens your faith. I am not being harsh. I am being a father who guards the atmosphere of his child's heart. If a particular voice online spikes your anxiety, every time you listen, mute it in love. If a group chat keeps you entangled in dramas that are not your calling, bless it and step back. If an account invites comparison that leaves you diminished in your own eyes, unfollow and refuse the lie that you owe your peace to anyone's expectations. If certain places reliably trigger old patterns, choose different routes. If late-night scrolling turns your mind into a hall of mirrors, put the phone in another room and give your brain back the dark and the quiet it needs to heal. This is not legalism, this is stewardship. The garden you are tending is your inner life, and it is valuable. Stay close by, obeying the next step you already know. Often you are not confused about everything. You are resisting the one small obedience that would make the next thing clear. Make the call. Send the application. Clean the corner of the room that has become a monument to stuckness. Open the envelope. Book the appointment. Apologize where I have already nudged you. Rejoice where I have already moved. Boundaries are part of closeness too. I will lead you to say no where your yes has been misused. Honor that leading. It is not selfishness, it is wisdom that preserves your strength so you can walk the long road of favor without collapsing. As you practice staying close, expect me to meet you in ways that surprise you with their tenderness. A verse rising unforced to your mind and making sense of your confusion. A line in a sermon or a conversation that answers a question you did not know how to ask. A quiet assurance that slows your breathing when the inbox flares. Courage that arrives not as a shout, but as a steadying hand on your back. I am not far, I am near, and nearness is a felt thing when you choose it with me. Hear me. These 4 practices are not a new ladder you must climb to prove you deserve what I am giving. I am not grading you on how perfectly you notice, how exuberantly you celebrate, how eloquently you pray, or how monastic your calendar looks. I am guiding you into a posture that refuses the narrative of scarcity, trains your heart to trust, and keeps you within reach of my voice as doors open one after another. This is how you let what arrives settle instead of slipping through your fingers. This is how you carry favor without fracturing under it. This is how your life becomes a place where my kindness is not just visited, but hosted. So, faithful one, begin today. First, notice. Second, receive without minimizing. Third, speak alignment daily. Fourth, stay close. Practice them quietly. Practice them imperfectly. Practice them consistently. The pathway forming under your feet will feel firmer with each step because you are walking it with me in a way that allows joy to stay, peace to grow, and clarity to lead. And do not leave yet. Now I will address the fears that have been circling your timeline and whispering at your thresholds. I am closing the mouth of the accuser over your days. That fear is a lie, and I will teach you how to hear it, name it, and starve it until it falls silent. Stay with me. The door is open, and your heart is learning how to enter. My child, come close and breathe with me. I am putting my hand over the mouth that has been shouting timelines of doom over your life. I am closing the mouth of the accuser that has tried to narrate your story with dread, with condemnation, with conclusions that do not belong to you. I will not leave you in a fog of unnamed fear. I want to address them one by one. I want you to hear me clearly and feel the weight of my love push back against the noise. The cycle of delay has been fed by fear. When you reject the lie, you starve the pattern. Today, we starve it. First fear, you missed it. That fear is a lie. You did not miss me. You did not miss your life. I am not a narrow, vanishing window that punishes those who blink. I am a father who guides with real-time kindness. If a turn was missed, I do not abandon the traveler. I redirect the route. I do not punish your confusion with silence. I meet it with guidance. What is arriving did not lose the address when you hesitated. I know where you live. I know how to reach you in the grocery aisle, in the driveway, in the late-night kitchen with your hands around a mug and your thoughts running. You have not missed me. You are meeting me now. Second fear. You waited too long. That fear is a lie. Time does not sit above me as a judge. Time sits beneath me as a servant. I have not written your story as a race you were supposed to sprint while wounded. I have written it as a journey paced by wisdom, healed by presence. I am not tallying how many months you took to gather courage before I decide whether you qualify. I was using those months to prepare your heart. I redeem what seems slow by planting acceleration inside obedience. You say, "It took me years," and I answer, "Now watch what I do in days." You did not waste time beyond my reach. I hold time. I hold you. Third fear. I changed my mind about you. That fear is a lie. I do not love you on probation. I am not moody with your destiny. I chose you on purpose with full knowledge of your wiring, your seasons of boldness and your seasons of doubt, your gifts and your gaps. I have not withdrawn adoption papers while you were learning how to trust. Adoption in my family is irrevocable. I do not draft heirs and then unchoose them because they struggled in a long night. My mind is not divided. My heart is steady. My covenant is personal, and it is not performative theater. It is the architecture under your feet. Fourth fear, you are disqualified. That fear is a lie. I did not discover something about you in the waiting that I did not know when I called you. I was not shocked by your fatigue. I am not scandalized by your tears. I am the one who sat with you when grief made sentences hard to form. I am the one who held you when panic visited and would not quickly leave. I correct, yes, but I correct as a surgeon, not as a shamer. My conviction is precise and hopeful. It opens a path. Condemnation is vague and crushing. It slams a door. Learn the difference. When you feel a pressure that only produces self-hatred, that is not me. When you sense a nudge that is clear, doable, and soaked in the promise that I will help you, that is me. I qualify those I call by walking with them in real time. Fifth fear. If it finally comes, it will be taken away. That fear is a lie. I am not a bait-and-switch giver. I do not dangle goodness as a test of your attachment and then snatch it to see if you cry the right way. When I give with intention for it to remain and to bear fruit. I pair my gifts with protection. I surround doors with peace. I release provision that includes the grace to steward it. I am not interested in training you to brace for disaster whenever joy enters the room. I am teaching you to let joy stay. I am teaching you to stop making a case against your own blessing. What opens will not be fragile because I am in its frame. Sixth, fear, you will fail when it finally comes. That fear is a lie. You are not standing at a pass/fail exam with the universe watching to see if you break. You are standing with me, and I am the one who has built into you the infrastructure needed to carry what is coming. Failure as fear imagines it, public collapse, permanent shame, final verdict is not your future. Will you make adjustments? Yes. Will you learn? Yes. Will you walk some days and run others? Yes. But I will be with you in the walking and in the running. I will help you recognize when to ask for help before your strength is thin. I will show you how to pace joy so it lasts. The idea that your moment of arrival is secretly a trap waiting to expose you is a lie we silence now. I am not setting you up to fall. I am setting you up to flourish. Hear me. The cycle that kept repeating did not possess mystical power to return. It returned because fear was allowed back in, whisper by whisper, headline by headline in your mind, small agreement by small agreement, until your steps grew hesitant again. Fear fed the pattern. You moved carefully to avoid pain, and in that carefulness, you fed the delay by refusing the next small obedience. This is not a scolding, this is a map. When you stop partnering with fear, the pattern starves. When you name the lie and break agreement with it, oxygen stops feeding the flame. When you practice the posture I taught you, notice, receive, speak alignment, stay close, you are turning off the valve that fed the cycle. I will make this even simpler. Use this inner check. Ask, what is the fruit of this voice in me right now? If the voice produces confusion that fogs your thinking, panic that tightens your chest, and self-hatred that calls you names and erases your dignity, do not call it God. Do not dress it in spiritual clothes. That is the accuser. That is a thief of joy. On the other hand, when I confront, you will feel clarity, not chaos. You will feel a path, not a pit. You will feel dignity, even as I ask you to change. My voice convicts and leads and restores. It names specifics and offers next steps. It makes repentance feel possible and hope feel logical. It gives you breath, not bondage. Let that be your check in the middle of the day, at your desk, in the car before you go inside, in the quiet moment at the sink. Test the voice. Choose the one that brings you back to me. And when fear speaks again, as it tries to, answer it, out loud if you can, gently but firmly. That fear is a lie. I do not agree. Then replace it with covenant language. I am chosen on purpose. I am guided in real time. My adoption is not revocable. The gifts of God to me are intentional and stable. I will not fail alone because I will not walk alone. Your mouth is a doorway. Use it to open life. Do this in the morning light. Do it when the inbox flares. Do it when a delay tries to repeat itself by suggestion. This is not pretending there are no obstacles. This is refusing to use fear as your strategy to avoid them. I am not only silencing the accuser externally, I am training you to close the door internally. I am teaching your nervous system a new normal. The old reflex that braced at every good thing as if it were a threat will be retrained. The soundtrack of dread will be replaced by the cadence of trust. There will be days you notice it suddenly, standing in a conversation that used to rattle you and realizing you are steady, opening a bill and realizing your breath stayed open, reading a message that once would have spiraled you and finding yourself responding with clarity and kindness. These are not accidents. They are the sign that fear's diet has been cut off and the pattern has lost its fuel. I bless your mind right now with calm. I bless your body with the memory of release instead of tension. I bless your nights with rest that is not negotiated by productivity. I bless your mornings with courage that does not need to manufacture optimism to begin. I am closing the mouth of the accuser over your timeline. I am retuning the speakers inside your soul. And I am doing it not only by decree from above, but by walking you, step by step, through the daily choices that keep the door shut to lies and open to my voice. So, faithful one, lift your head. Do not narrate your future with enemies I have already disarmed. Do not plan your next steps around fears I am exposing as untrue. Agree with me. Reject the lie. Starve the pattern. Stand in the posture we have practiced. The turning you have felt is real, and it will hold because its foundation is not adrenaline. It is covenant. Now, stay with me as I speak specific promise over the next season. What opening looks like in your real life, in rooms you can name, on mornings you will wake into, at tables where conversation will change. Arriving, not approaching, I will make it plain. My child, hear me. What opens now will not be fragile, not a tease, not a momentary lift that drops you back into the same old valley the next day. What opens now is a settling, a steadying, a structural change in how your days stand, progress that remains and does not evaporate overnight. I am not ushering you into a season you must clutch in panic to keep. I am ushering you into a season that is held by me, by promise, by a frame I have reinforced while you waited. The door is not thin, it is framed with peace. The hinges do not squeal, they are oiled with my faithfulness, arriving, not approaching, and it will hold. You will notice it first in the ordinary rooms of your life. Calmer mornings, the kind where you wake and your first breath is not a negotiation with dread. The kettle hums and it does not sound like a countdown, it sounds like a welcome. You will sit or stand or walk in your own space and realize your shoulders are not trying to live tomorrow in advance. The morning light will touch the floor and it will not accuse you of being behind. It will invite you to begin. Conversations will happen without the hidden bracing, no rehearsed arguments in your head, no armor you have to put on to ask simple questions. Laughter will remember its way back to your mouth and into your rooms. In the evenings, the air will feel lighter, not because every circumstance is perfect, but because I am in the room with a peace that refuses to be intimidated. You will have moments at your sink, in your car, on your couch, where you catch yourself unguarded and safe. That is the sign. That is me. Decisions will no longer torment you. The fog that made every choice feel like a test with a trap will lift. I am giving you clarity that makes the next right step make sense in your bones. Meetings that used to tie you in knots will end with you still whole. You will write the email and not spiral. You will look at the calendar and feel capacity, not collapse. I am giving you solutions that shorten timelines, paths that cut through the maze rather than circle it for months. I am closing loops that have stayed open too long. There will be a sense of rightness when you move, like a key meeting a lock it was cut to fit. You will not need to force what is aligned. It will turn. Provision is arriving, not as a trickle you are expected to stretch into a river, but as streams that converge in ways you did not predict. Unexpected channels are opening, the call you thought was casual turning into an opportunity that fits who you are. The invoice adjusted favorably without you pleading. The refund you forgot about finding its way to your account. The rate lowered, the fee waived. The door opened by someone who knows your name and believes in your work. Favor with the right people, not merely many people. The kind of favor that sits you at tables where your voice is wanted and your time is honored. I am aligning what seemed unrelated so that your daily needs are not a crisis to solve, but a testimony to record. You will see numbers with actual values in them calm your chest. Margin will return. Not extravagant waste, but present tense sufficiency and wise overflow, a cup that does not slosh in panic, but runs over with purpose. And with provision comes peace that protects it. Hear me. You will feel peace rise as confirmation. Receive it as my witness. I am not leading you by hype. I am not asking you to confuse adrenaline with anointing. My peace is a weight that settles without suffocating. It is a warmth that does not demand spectacle to prove it is real. It will come on you while you are reading a message, and you will know this is the yes. It will sit with you when an offer arrives, and you will sense this is not the one. Let that peace be your witness, not your fear, not old dread dressed up as caution. Peace will confirm. Follow it. Protection is woven into this opening. I am placing covering over your mind so that old accusations cannot reclaim the microphone, over your body so that tension does not become your default home, over your house so that atmosphere shifts, from thin and brittle to thick with safety, over your relationships so that alignment increases and drains decrease. I am sharpening your discernment for counterfeit doors. Not every open space is a calling. Not every invitation is an assignment. Some doors look shiny but open into rooms that cost you your peace. I will show you. You will feel a sand in your shoe irritation when you stand at the wrong threshold. Pay attention. You will sense a crowding in your spirit when something is engineered by flattery rather than favor. Step back. I am giving you the strength to say no without guilt, to refuse good-looking opportunities that would thin your soul. Your no will protect your yes. There will be people who recognize you for who you are and people who only recognize what they can take. I am teaching you the difference. The first group will add strength to your steps. Conversations with them will end with you more yourself, not less. The second will leave you scattered. I will give you language for boundaries without apology. You will not have to explain your entire history to justify your choices. You will simply walk in wisdom. When you must decline, I will cover you from backlash. When you must accept, I will surround you with the right allies. I am not leading you into rooms to be paraded and picked at. I am placing you where you can build and breathe. Your nights will change. Rest will not be something you earn by finishing every task. It will be something you receive because I give sleep to my beloved. The pressure in your chest will ease. The jaw you did not realize was clenched will unclench. You will remember what a quiet evening feels like when your mind is not interrogating you for more productivity. Meals will be calmer. There will be moments around the table, whatever your table looks like, a desk, a counter, a dining room, where conversation turns from survival updates to stories, ideas, even silence that is friendly. There will be days, ordinary Tuesdays, that decide to be kind to you on purpose. You will notice. Say it with me when you do. Arriving. I want you to know that what opens will not ask you to become someone else to keep it. You will not have to outrun yourself. You will not have to rehearse a performance every morning to deserve to be where I place you. Who you are, the real you I formed, fits in this. I am pacing you for sustainability, pace of grace, not the violent sprint of fear, not the sluggish drag of despair, steady, strong, joy that can be carried, peace that can remain, provision that is stewarded wisely so your future is not a series of emergencies, but a story with room to breathe. And when resistance tries small tricks, because it will try subtle things even as the larger grip is broken, remember, the foundation under you is not adrenaline, it is covenant. If a day dips, the season does not. If a conversation is difficult, your calling is not revoked. If an unexpected expense pops up, it does not cancel provision, it activates it. Do not read setbacks as sentences. Read them as places where I will reveal again that I am with you. The arc is forward, the story is strengthening, the door is open and supported. My child, lift your eyes to the evidence I am already placing like breadcrumbs of kindness on your path. Calmer mornings, lighter evenings, laughter returning, conversations without dread, decisions without torment, unexpected channels of provision, favor with the right people, solutions that shorten the route, clarity where fog once lived, strength to say no, covering over your mind, your body, your home, your relationships, peace rising as witness, receive it, say yes to it, let it settle. Stand in the posture we have practiced and watch me make this plain in rooms you can name. And as the stability takes root and the pathway grows, I will ask you for one step of obedience that breaks the next layer of old delay. Do not fear it, I am already there. For now, breathe. This is not a tease. This is the keeping of what I promised. Arriving at your home, arriving in your relationships, arriving in your work, arriving in your body, arriving, not approaching. It is in motion, it is real, and it will hold. My child, the door stands open, and I am standing in it, calling you by name. A door opening becomes a new season only when you walk through it, not when you admire it, not when you gather more opinions about it, not when you study its hinges and trace its frame. When you step, the next layer of old delay breaks under the weight of one obedient move. I am not asking you for a performance. I am asking you for a yes. Listen to me. Breakthroughs are often attached to a simple step, so ordinary it almost offends the drama of your fears. Send the message. Submit the application. Apologize for the words that still echo. Make the call. Schedule the appointment you have postponed. Declutter what keeps stealing your focus. Start the plan with the resources you already have. Stop the partnership that thins your soul. Say yes to the aligned invitation. Say no to the alluring counterfeit. One step, not all the steps. One door length of movement. I want to make something very clear. Obedience is not striving. You are not earning what I am releasing. You are aligning with it. Striving tries to manufacture an outcome by frenzy and fear and self-judgment. Obedience listens and answers. Striving exhausts you to purchase worth. Obedience restores you by agreeing with worth already given. Striving insists on finishing everything to be safe. Obedience takes the next faithful step because you are safe. I am not sending you back into the prison you just walked out of. I am leading you into the room I prepared. Trust the difference. I see the hesitation patterns that have looped you. Perfectionism that demands a flawless blueprint before you move. Over-confirmation that keeps you asking for sign after sign while ignoring the peace that has already settled. Waiting to feel fearless before you begin, turning courage into a feeling instead of a decision, and the habit of calling dread wisdom so that you can stay familiar with delay. My child, these are not your keepers anymore. The peace you feel is my green light. The clarity you sense is my whisper. You can move while still feeling your feelings. You can choose even if your knees shake a little. Trembling is allowed. Quitting is not required. Here is what I want you to do, and I want you to do it with me. First, ask me plainly for the next right step. Out loud, if you can. Father, what is my next right step? Then be quiet for a moment. Breathe. Do not argue with the simple thing that rises. I am not hiding the answer behind riddles for only experts to solve. I will bring to mind the email you already drafted and never sent, the number you need to dial, the apology you owe, the form you paused on the last screen, the plan you outlined in your notes app and then buried under doubt, the habit that must end today. It will be simple. It will align with the peace I have been building in you. Second, write it down exactly as you heard it. Clarity gains courage when captured in ink. Put a time beside it, within 24 hours. Not because I am testing you with a stopwatch, but because your agreement becomes tangible when it meets a clock. Morning or evening, lunch break or car ride, choose a window. I am in the window you choose. Third, tell one trustworthy person, someone who knows your heart and honors your process. Name the step. Name the 24-hour window. Ask them to pray over that exact action. Your humility is not weakness. It is how cement sets. Fourth, take the step. With humility and courage. Not as a stunt. Not as a desperate last-ditch performance. As worship. As agreement. As alignment with what is already arriving. Click send. Book the date. Speak the apology. Close the tab that drains you and open the one that builds you. If the step is to stop, then stop. If the step is to begin, then begin. If the step is to release, then release. Move in the direction peace has pointed, not in circles around the fear that once ruled. As you move, expect this. Resistance may spike briefly, Do not interpret that as failure. Interpret it as displacement. When light enters a dusty room, the dust rises for a moment. It is not proof that light failed. It is proof that light arrived. A returned thought, a tightening in your chest, a small logistical snag. These are not verdicts. They are the old atmosphere leaving. Breathe. Keep walking. I am with you in the hallway between thresholds. If your mind tries to bargain, maybe tomorrow, maybe I need 3 more confirmations, maybe I should wait until I feel nothing at all, answer it gently. Peace is my witness. Delay is not my counselor. If perfectionism begins a speech, what if it is not the best timing? What if someone is disappointed? What if I look foolish? Answer it with my word over you. I am beloved. I am guided. I am supplied. I will be found faithful, not flawless. The opening does not require a flawless you. It requires the real you, the one I formed, the one I am pacing with grace. Let me speak to specific rooms so you cannot hide this in generalities. If your step is reconciliation, reach for humility before eloquence. A simple, I am sorry for my part, I value the relationship, may break a stalemate you thought needed a perfect speech. If your step is provision-related, take the practical move in front of you. Update the resume, send the pitch, bring your work into the light. If your step is health, schedule the appointment, honor your body, choose rest without guilt. If your step is calling, share the work with the person waiting to amplify you. Stop keeping what I gave you a secret. If your step is boundary, say the no you have rehearsed and felt afraid to say. Then stand in peace when the echo of disapproval tries to pull you back. Simple does not mean small to me. Simple often means surgical. I will whisper as you go. You will feel the yes in your bones as you move, not only before you move. That is why I am asking you to act within 24 hours, to interrupt the old habit of thinking yourself into paralysis. Think with me and walk with me. I will let encouragement reach you at the right moments. A text, a phrase in a conversation, an ease you feel mid-action. Recognize it. Say, that was you. Let gratitude become the soundtrack as you move. After you take the step, return to me and sit a moment. Let me bless your obedience. I am not grading you in red ink. I am growing you in grace. If there is a second step, I will say it. If there is not, rest. You are not behind. You are aligned. Celebrate small faithfulness. Do not rush to invent the next mountain. Let your nervous system learn that obedience and rest belong together. This is how the season becomes real, step by step. Not by collecting promises like souvenirs, but by walking with me as those promises take on weight in your calendar, in your body, in your relationships, in your work. Lift your chin. Place your hand on the handle. Feel the peace. Walk through. I am on both sides of the door, and I am the pathway between them. The next layer of delay breaks when you say yes, and you are saying yes now. Father, here we are. We exhale. We step out of analysis and into surrender. We bring you our open hands and our honest hearts, not the rehearsed perfection, but the real us, the one you formed before the waiting tried to rename us. We agree with what you have spoken over us in this moment. We agree that delay is not our punishment and not our ending. We agree that you are breaking the recurring cycles of resistance, opening aligned doors, and teaching us to receive with faith, reject fear, and take the next obedient step. We position ourselves to receive now. We repent for partnering with fear. We name it without excuses. We repent for treating dread like wisdom and calling paralysis prudence. We repent for the ways we made agreements with scarcity, with unworthiness, with the lie that we are behind help and beyond hope. Forgive us for letting cynicism disguise itself as protection. Forgive us for the bargains we have made with delay, asking for another sign after you already gave peace. asking for a perfect feeling before we took a faithful step. We lay down our need to control outcomes and we pick up trust. Wash us in mercy that is new this morning. Cleanse our motives, cleanse our memories, cleanse our calendars. Lift the self-accusation that has made us so tired. We receive your forgiveness, and we forgive ourselves for the time we have spent circling the same fears. We forgive those who contributed to the delay through neglect, unkindness, manipulation, or misunderstanding. We release them into your hands. We release ourselves into your hands. Heal the places where our hearts took on hardness just to survive. We renounce our agreements with fear. We speak to the lying narratives and we close their mouths. The fear that says, the window has closed. That fear is a lie. The fear that says, the blessing is for others, not for you. That fear is a lie. The fear that says, if you step, you will lose everything. That fear is a lie. The fear that says, you will only repeat the same failures. That fear is a lie. We break covenant with those voices and we renew covenant with your voice. Peace is our witness. Your nearness is our compass. We receive your peace now, not as theory, but as felt reality. Let it settle like a warm weight that does not suffocate, but steadies. Let it fill the space where panic used to live. We breathe it in. We say yes to it. We declare, as your word teaches, paraphrased, you make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. You open doors that no one can shut and shut doors that no one can force open. You restore what was consumed and wasted by devouring seasons and misaligned choices. You give beauty in exchange for ashes, the oil of gladness where mourning has been heavy, a garment of praise for the spirit that has felt faint, paraphrased. We anchor our trust to your character. We fasten our hope to your faithfulness. What you open will not be fragile. What you begin, you will perform. We bring our minds to you now. Father, quiet the storm in our thoughts. Bind the racing, spiraling questions that keep replaying at 2 a.m. Close the mouth of the accuser over our timeline. Replace intrusive dread with gentle clarity. Let the peace that surpasses understanding guard our minds and set a sentry at the doorway of our thoughts, paraphrased. Heal the memory of disappointments that made our minds brace for bad news. Restore focus where fog has lingered. Give us the wisdom to notice the thought that is not from you and to dismiss it without court hearings. We receive the mind of Christ, sober, creative, hopeful, and clear. We bring our bodies to you. You knit us together. You know our frames. Lift the fatigue that has settled like a heavy coat on our shoulders. Release the tension in our chest and jaw. Regulate sleep. Give us dreams that heal instead of nights that interrogate. Renew our strength like the eagles, so we can run without growing weary and walk without collapsing, paraphrased. Touch blood and bones, hormones and heart rate, breath and back. Let our bodies remember safety. Let our nervous systems learn that obedience and rest belong together. We receive energy that is not manic but sustainable. We receive appetite for life that does not depend on adrenaline. We bring our relationships to you. Where there has been stalemate, give humility that breaks it. Where there has been misunderstanding, make the path short for gentle truth. Where there has been manipulation, shine light and give us the holy no that restores dignity. Where there has been distance that should be bridged, give us words like healing oil and timing like wisdom. Reknit what should be whole. Bless covenant connections, family, friendship, mentors, partners with protection and increase. Remove us kindly from rooms that thin our souls and usher us into tables where we can build and breathe. Teach us to use boundaries without apology and compassion without enablement. Let forgiveness flow without foolishness returning. Make our yes a shelter and our no a guardrail. We bring our finances to you. We renounce the grip of scarcity, and we receive you as our source. Open the unexpected channels that honor dignity and align with calling: a reconciled invoice, a timely refund, a corrected rate, a new client, a promotion with peace in it, a partnership that strengthens rather than siphons. We ask for honest opportunities, fair compensation, and favor with the right people, not merely many people. Give us wisdom to steward, margin to breathe, generosity that multiplies joy, strategy that shortens useless loops. Remove shame from our budgets. Replace panic with plan. Let the numbers with actual values in them calm our chests. Let provision arrive steadily, and let the fear of it disappearing lose all power. Protect what you provide. We bring our calling to you. Clarify assignments. Remove clutter. Highlight the one next step that unlocks the next layer of delay. Anoint our craft, our words, our hands, our problem-solving, our service. Bring mentors who see us and rooms that want what you placed in us. Close the counterfeit doors that flatter but drain. Open the doors that fit, where our voice belongs, where our time is honored, where our gifts can serve. Give us holy courage to begin again. Continue faithfully and end what needs ending. Let excellence be worship, not perfectionism's prison. Give us the joy of seeing fruit without needing spectacle to prove it is real. We bring our homes to you. Change the atmosphere. Make mornings gentle and evenings light. Let laughter remember its way back. Let conversations end with dignity. Let the hallway feel safe and the kitchen sound like welcome. Fill our spaces with your peace, thick and protective. Guard our thresholds. Bless those who enter with respect, and send away what seeks to steal rest. Let an ordinary Tuesday choose to be kind on purpose. Let our homes become signs that your kingdom is near. Father, we agree again. Every delay that has been fed by fear breaks now under your authority. Every aligned door that has been prepared opens by your hand. The pathway forms not only a single opportunity, but a sequence of steps that make sense in our bones. We submit our yes to you. We receive what you are releasing. We will not minimize it. We will not self-sabotage it. We will tend it with gratitude and wisdom, arriving at our homes, arriving in our relationships, arriving in our work, arriving in our bodies, arriving in our timelines, arriving now, not merely approaching. It is in motion. It is real. I bless your mind with peace, your body with strength, your relationships with restoration and wise boundaries, your finances with provision and margin, your calling with clarity and courage, your home with protected rest. I bless your steps to agree with grace rather than adrenaline. I bless your yes to become a doorway you actually walk through, and I seal this in the name of Jesus, the name above every name, the one who makes a way where there was no way, who opens what no one can shut, who restores what was consumed, who speaks peace to storms and they listen, paraphrased. Hear this assurance and hold it close. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are being led. Mercy is pacing you. Favor is going before you. Goodness and mercy are following you all the days of your life, paraphrased. The arc is forward. The story is strengthening. The door is open and supported. Breathe, receive, walk. If this prayer met you, do something with it. Share this with someone who has been waiting and needs the sound of hope. Subscribe for continued encouragement as you walk this out day by day. And in the comments, write your declaration so your own eyes can see it. Every delay breaks, every door opens. Let it be so in your life. Amen.